What if the world you think you understand is only a thin surface, hiding truths we were never meant to see? Across the planet, there are places where logic breaks down, where ships vanish without warning, ancient maps show lands that shouldn't exist, and strange sounds echo with no clear source. The Bermuda Triangle swallows planes without distress calls. Deep beneath the Baltic Sea, a perfectly shaped object rests on the ocean floor, defying explanation. A centuries-old map appears to show Antarctica long before it was discovered. And in quiet towns, a low, relentless hum is heard by some, but not all. These mysteries are not just unsolved puzzles. They are reminders of how little control we truly have. The more we explore, the more the unknown pushes back, silent, patient, waiting. Maybe the greatest mystery isn't what these places hide, but why they still call to us.
The world we inhabit is a tapestry woven with the threads of history, mystery, and the unexplained. Through centuries of exploration and discovery, we've mapped the stars, unlocked the secrets of the human body, and unraveled the complexities of nature. Yet, for all our knowledge, there remain vast corners of existence untouched by understanding, realms where science falters and mystery reigns. These are the places where wonder thrives, where the unexplainable whispers to us from the dark recesses of time and space, urging us to listen closely, to seek what lies beyond the veil of certainty. In our quest for knowledge, we have learned so much about the universe's origin, the rhythms of life, and the intricacies of the smallest particles that make up our world. But for every answer uncovered, a multitude of new questions emerges, revealing just how much there is yet to know. In this duality of knowledge and ignorance, of certainty and wonder, is what propels us forward, ever curious, ever seeking. It's a paradox that exists at the very heart of human curiosity, that the more we discover, the more we realize there is to be discovered. There are mysteries that persist in the face of all our ingenuity and intellect. Some of these are ancient, stretching back millennia, and others are recent, unfolding in the present day. But regardless of their age, these mysteries share a common trait. They challenge our understanding and ignite our imaginations. From the deep, dark ocean floors to the vast reaches of space, from the ruins of ancient civilizations to the seemingly endless skies above, the unknown calls to us, urging us to look closer, to listen more intently. In the quiet of the night, when the world slows down and the hum of daily life fades into a gentle murmur, it is in these moments that the mysteries of the universe seem to take on a new significance. We find ourselves drawn to them, seeking comfort and intrigue in their unexplained nature. It is in this space between wakefulness and slumber that we begin to embrace the unknown, allowing our minds to wander, to drift, to explore the vast, uncharted territories of the past and present. But what is it that makes these mysteries so compelling? Why, despite all the knowledge at our fingertips, do we continue to be haunted by questions that defy resolution? Perhaps it is because these mysteries invite us to look beyond the confines of our everyday reality, to imagine a world that is much larger, much more complex than we can possibly comprehend. Perhaps it is the allure of the unknown itself, the feeling that we are standing on the edge of discovery, gazing into a world that is just out of reach, but always beckoning us to come closer. There is something deeply comforting about the mysteries of the world. They remind us that we are part of something much greater than ourselves, something that transcends the limitations of our finite understanding. As we journey through the unknown, we are reminded that there is always more to learn, more to explore, more to discover. It is a reminder that, no matter how much we know, there's always the possibility of something new, something unanticipated, something beyond our wildest imagination. But perhaps there is also an inherent sadness in the mysteries that we cannot solve. These questions, these ancient and modern enigmas, remain tantalizingly out of reach, teasing us with their elusive answers. They stir something in us, a deep yearning to understand, to make sense of the world in ways that go beyond the logical and the rational. They speak to our deepest desires, our need for connection, for meaning. In a world that often seems overwhelmingly complex and chaotic, these mysteries offer us a glimpse of simplicity, a world where there are questions that have not yet been answered, where the unknown still holds sway. The greatest mysteries often lie not in the things that are distant or far-flung, but in the things that are right before our eyes. They are not hidden in the distant stars or lost in the depths of the ocean, but in the moments, places, and events that have slipped through the cracks of history and science. These mysteries are scattered across time, tucked away in ancient ruins, etched into forgotten manuscripts, and whispered on the winds of the earth. The world is filled with remnants of past lives, enigmatic objects, and unexplained phenomena that resist all attempts at explanation, waiting patiently for someone to unlock their secrets. One such mystery is the Bermuda Triangle, a vast stretch of ocean between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, where ships and planes have vanished without a trace, leaving behind only cryptic tales of disappearance. Some say it's the work of the ocean itself, its depths concealing forces that we cannot comprehend. Others whisper of alien intervention, suggesting that the triangle is a portal to another world, a place where time and space bend in ways we cannot fathom. Despite all the theories, the truth remains elusive, a mystery that continues to haunt sailors, travelers, and scientists alike. And then there is the Bermuda Triangle's counterpart, the mystery of the Baltic Sea anomaly, an underwater formation discovered in the early 2000s that some believe could be a remnant of a lost civilization or even an alien spacecraft. The shape, the size, and the location of the anomaly seem too precise to be natural, yet despite numerous attempts to explain it, no definitive answers have emerged. The more we attempt to uncover, the more we realize how little we know about the world beneath the waves. It is a reminder that the depths of the ocean still hold many secrets, waiting to be unearthed. It is not just in the far reaches of the planet that mysteries lurk. There are the lights of Marfa, Texas, strange, unexplainable glows that appear in the night sky, defying the laws of nature. Is it natural gas, as some scientists claim, or something more ethereal, perhaps even supernatural? Theories abound. Yet no one has been able to conclusively explain the Marfa lights. They exist as a quiet testament to the unknown, a phenomenon that invites us to look up at the night sky and wonder what we are truly seeing. These are the mysteries that fuel our curiosity, that spark our imagination and remind us of the vastness of the world, of the universe, and of the human experience. Each mystery, whether it is an ancient city lost to time or a strange light in the sky, invites us to look deeper, to ask questions, and to explore the realms that remain hidden. They encourage us to challenge the boundaries of our understanding, to seek what lies beyond the veil of knowledge. But in this journey, we must also acknowledge the fragility of our own understanding. The world is vast, and we are but small creatures in the grand scheme of things. We may never know all the answers, but that, in itself, is part of the beauty of the unknown. It is a reminder that no matter how far we reach, there will always be something more to discover, something that will forever remain just beyond our grasp. And in that mystery, we find our greatest joy. So as we embark on this exploration of the most unexplained and mysterious phenomena, let us not be discouraged by the unknown. Let us instead embrace it. For in its mystery lies the beauty of discovery, the endless possibility of what lies ahead. Whether the answers come tomorrow or centuries from now, it is the journey itself that matters. And perhaps, in the end, it is not the answers that we seek, but the questions themselves, questions that will continue to whisper to us from the shadows, calling us ever forward into the great unknown. There are places on Earth that hold an uncanny power, places that seem to defy the very laws of nature, places where the line between reality and the unknown blurs in unsettling ways. Among these enigmatic spots, the Bermuda Triangle stands out as one of the most mysterious and captivating regions in the world. stretching between the points of Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. This area of the Atlantic Ocean has long been the subject of myth, speculation, and mystery. Here, ships and planes have disappeared without a trace, leaving behind only whispered stories and theories that continue to challenge our understanding of the natural world. The Bermuda Triangle, often referred to as the Devil's Triangle, has captured the imagination of countless people for centuries. Its reputation as a place where the unexplained happens is well known. Airplanes vanish from the skies, ships disappear from the waves, and no physical evidence is ever found to explain why. The very nature of these disappearances raises the question, what is it about this particular patch of ocean that defies explanation? Why do so many tragedies and mysteries seem to occur within its boundaries? And what does it tell us about the limits of human understanding? One of the most famous incidents in Bermuda Triangle lore occurred in 1945 when 5 U.S. Navy bombers, known as Flight 19, set out on a routine training mission. Somewhere over the open sea, communication was lost, and the pilots, disoriented and confused, reported that their compasses had malfunctioned. They described the sky as looking strange, with no clear reference points. Despite an extensive search, neither the aircraft nor the pilots were ever found. The mysterious disappearance of Flight 19 remains one of the most enduring and puzzling events tied to the Bermuda Triangle. Flight 19 was not the only military flight to vanish in the region. Throughout history, there have been numerous accounts of military aircraft and civilian planes disappearing without warning, often under bizarre circumstances. In some instances, entire ships have vanished as well, their last known positions marked only by the memories of those who were left behind. The pattern of disappearances is unsettling, and while many of these cases can be explained by human error or natural phenomena, there are a significant number that remain inexplicable. It is the unexplained nature of these incidents that has led to countless theories, each attempting to shed light on the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. One of the most common theories is that of magnetic anomalies in the region. The Bermuda Triangle is known to have areas where the Earth's magnetic field behaves in unusual ways. This could potentially explain why navigational instruments, such as compasses, malfunction or give false readings. For a pilot or a ship captain, the sudden loss of reliable navigation tools could be catastrophic. If the Bermuda Triangle truly does play host to strange magnetic forces, it would be easy to understand how aircraft and vessels could become lost, especially in an era when modern technology was not as advanced as it is today. However, scientists have been unable to definitively prove that magnetic anomalies in the Bermuda Triangle are any more intense than those found in other parts of the world. Another theory suggests that the region's weather patterns are to blame. The Bermuda Triangle is located in an area where tropical storms and hurricanes frequently form. The rapid onset of severe weather could easily catch an unsuspecting pilot or captain off guard, particularly in the days before satellite weather tracking and advanced meteorological forecasting. These violent storms, with their swirling winds and unpredictable patterns, could cause a plane or ship to be swallowed up by the sea, never to be seen again. This theory is plausible and is supported by historical records of storms that have wreaked havoc on ships and planes in the area. But again, the sheer frequency of disappearances, coupled with the often strange circumstances surrounding them, continues to make this a subject of debate. Some have proposed more outlandish explanations, including the idea that the Bermuda Triangle is a portal to another dimension. According to this theory, the Bermuda Triangle could be a gateway to a parallel universe or even to another time. The idea of interdimensional rifts or wormholes is often associated with science fiction, but in the context of the Bermuda Triangle, it offers a tantalizing possibility. Could it be that the disappearances are the result of a sudden rift in space-time, pulling unsuspecting travelers into another realm? This theory taps into humanity's deep-seated fascination with the idea of alternate realities, a concept that has been explored in literature, film, and popular culture for decades. While it remains purely speculative, the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle fuels such imaginative theories, inviting us to wonder whether the laws of physics, as we know them, might not be as solid as we believe. Equally strange are the theories that suggest extraterrestrial involvement. The Bermuda Triangle has long been associated with UFO sightings, and many theorists claim that the disappearances of ships and planes are the result of alien activity. According to this theory, unidentified flying objects could be responsible for pulling vessels and aircraft out of the sky and off the waves. Some suggest that aliens might be conducting experiments or performing abductions, using the Bermuda Triangle as a kind of base of operations. While there is no concrete evidence to support such claims, the persistence of these ideas highlights our fascination with the unknown and our desire to explain the unexplainable. Yet, despite all of the theories, the truth remains elusive. The Bermuda Triangle continues to be one of the most studied and most mysterious regions on Earth, with scientists, historians, and amateur sleuths all trying to unravel its secrets. Some claim that the high number of disappearances in the area is simply the result of the triangle being one of the busiest shipping lanes and flight paths in the world. Statistically, it is not unreasonable to expect a higher frequency of accidents in a region with such heavy traffic. Others argue that the triangle's reputation has been exaggerated over the years, with media sensationalism playing a role in its mystique. In any case, the Bermuda Triangle is a reminder of how little we truly understand about the natural world. It is a place where science, speculation, and superstition collide. It challenges our notions of reality and forces us to confront the limits of our knowledge. As we stand on the precipice of understanding, we are reminded that there are still many mysteries in this world that remain beyond our grasp. The Bermuda Triangle beckons us to explore its secrets, to dive deeper into its depths, and uncover what lies beneath the surface. It is a place where the known and the unknown intertwine, where science meets the supernatural, and where history is shrouded in mystery. The stories of those who have vanished into the Bermuda Triangle are not just tales of lost ships and planes. They are a testament to the enduring allure of the unexplained, a reminder that, even in an age of technological advancements and scientific discoveries, the world still holds vast regions of mystery waiting to be explored. As we continue to seek answers, we must also remember that some questions may remain unanswered forever. Perhaps that is the nature of mystery itself, that it will always elude our grasp, leaving us with only the faintest traces of understanding, like the ripples left behind by a ship that has long since disappeared into the fog. And yet, it is this very elusiveness that makes the Bermuda Triangle so compelling. Its secrets remain just out of reach, forever tantalizing, forever elusive, and forever a part of the vast, unexplored expanse of our world. The ocean is a vast and enigmatic realm, hiding secrets that have been buried beneath its waves for centuries. While the Bermuda Triangle captures our imagination with its tales of disappearances and mysterious forces, there is another equally perplexing enigma lying quietly beneath the surface of the Baltic Sea. Discovered in 2011, the Baltic Sea anomaly is a strange formation found at a depth of about 92 meters, roughly 92 kilometers off the coast of Sweden. It was first spotted by a Swedish treasure hunting team using sonar technology, and it immediately sparked widespread speculation and intrigue. The anomaly, which resembles a large, circular structure, appears to have an unnatural, almost man-made quality to it, leading to countless theories about its origin. Some have suggested that it is a sunken spaceship, others believe it could be the remains of an ancient civilization, while still others propose that it is a natural geological formation. But despite several years of exploration and investigation, the true nature of the Baltic Sea anomaly remains one of the most mysterious underwater discoveries in modern history. When the discovery was first made, the team aboard the Ocean X, a Swedish research vessel, was conducting a routine search for sunken treasure, specifically seeking the wreck of a World War II-era ship. The sonar scan revealed an unusually large, circular structure with what appeared to be stairs, flat surfaces, and other features that could not easily be attributed to natural rock formations. The anomaly was clearly an outlier in the seabed, a stark contrast to the surrounding ocean floor. Its resemblance to a man-made object was too striking to be dismissed outright. With its strange, almost artificial shape, the anomaly seemed to invite further investigation. Soon after the discovery, the speculation began. Many people were quick to jump to the conclusion that the object was a UFO, or at least the remains of one. Theories of ancient alien visitation flourished, with some even claiming that the anomaly was a piece of extraterrestrial technology that had crash-landed into the sea centuries, or even millennia, ago. This theory was fueled by the object's smooth, rounded edges, which appeared to defy the typical jaggedness of natural rock formations. The idea that a UFO had landed in the Baltic Sea was not just an entertaining science fiction fantasy. It was a serious hypothesis entertained by some of the world's most curious minds. Yet, as the researchers continued to examine the site, they found no definitive evidence that would support the idea of alien involvement. There were no physical traces of technology, nor any signs of advanced machinery. The structure itself remained largely intact, with features that seemed more consistent with the shape of a natural rock formation than anything artificially constructed. Nevertheless, the UFO theory persisted, driven by the innate human fascination with the unknown and our desire to explain the inexplicable. The notion that the anomaly could be a remnant of a visit from the stars remains an enduring, albeit speculative, part of its mystique. As the search continued, the team also began to consider other, more earthly explanations. Could the Baltic Sea anomaly be an ancient human structure? Some researchers suggested that it could be the remains of an ancient underwater city, lost to time and now buried beneath layers of sediment. If true, this would suggest that an advanced civilization once existed in this part of the world long before written history. But this theory was met with skepticism. The idea that an entire city, one that could rival the likes of Atlantis, had sunk beneath the waves and remained largely intact for thousands of years seemed implausible. Yet, the possibility of a lost civilization hidden beneath the surface of the Baltic Sea is a tantalizing thought. If the anomaly were a human-made structure, it could potentially be evidence of a forgotten chapter in human history, one that predates the civilizations we know today. Another explanation put forward was that the anomaly could be a natural geological formation, such as an underwater mountain or a large glacial deposit. Some scientists argued that the smooth, rounded edges of the object could be the result of erosion over millennia, shaped by the natural forces of the ocean. The surrounding area is known for its complex geological features, including underwater ridges and depressions, and it is not inconceivable that this formation could be a product of natural forces, albeit one that looks remarkably like an artificial structure. While the geological explanation may seem more mundane, it raises the important question of why the anomaly appears so distinctly out of place in the surrounding seabed. Despite several expeditions to the site, including deep-sea dives and sonar scans, no conclusive evidence has emerged to definitively determine the origin of the Baltic Sea anomaly. The structure's depth, its mysterious shape, and its apparent resistance to easy explanation have made it one of the most debated underwater mysteries of our time. Some have argued that further exploration, including more advanced technology and deeper dives, may reveal the true nature of the anomaly. Yet, with each passing year, the question lingers, what is it really? Is it a natural geological formation, a piece of ancient human engineering, or something far more exotic and otherworldly? One of the most intriguing aspects of the Baltic Sea anomaly is the sense of wonder it evokes. The more we learn about the object, the more it seems to raise more questions than it answers. What if it is an artifact from an ancient civilization, one that predated even the Egyptians? Could it be a relic from a lost world, long submerged beneath the waves, waiting for us to uncover its secrets? Or perhaps it is something far more enigmatic, something beyond our comprehension, an object from another time or even another world. These are the questions that continue to haunt those who study the anomaly, questions that fuel our collective desire for discovery and understanding. At the heart of the mystery lies a simple but profound truth. There is still so much we do not know about our world. Even in an age where technology allows us to explore the farthest reaches of space, we are still confronted with the limitations of our understanding. The ocean, with its vast and unexplored depths, remains a place where mystery reigns. The Baltic Sea anomaly is just one example of how the natural world can surprise us, how nature's secrets can remain hidden for centuries, even millennia. And in this mystery, there is both wonder and discomfort, a reminder that there are things beyond our grasp, things that remain locked away in the deep. In the end, the Baltic Sea anomaly may never be fully explained, and perhaps that is part of its allure. The more we try to uncover its secrets, the more it seems to elude us, remaining shrouded in its mystery. Whether it is a natural formation, an ancient relic, or something more fantastical, the anomaly invites us to question our assumptions, to explore the unknown, and to wonder what else might be hidden beneath the waves. It is a reminder that, in our quest for knowledge, there will always be mysteries that remain beyond our understanding. A tantalizing thought, one that stirs our curiosity and our imagination. The Baltic Sea anomaly, like so many other unexplained phenomena, holds a special place in our collective consciousness. It serves as a reminder that the world we live in is filled with mysteries that we have yet to unravel. And as long as these mysteries persist, we will continue to search, to explore, and to wonder. For in the pursuit of the unknown, we are not just seeking answers. We are embracing the vastness of possibility, the boundless potential for discovery that lies just beneath the surface, waiting to be found. Maps are meant to guide us, to show us where we are and where we need to go. They are the cartographer's attempt to capture the shape and structure of the world in a way that makes it understandable to those who look upon them. But what happens when a map is found that suggests a deeper knowledge of the world, one that predates even the most advanced civilizations we know? This is the mystery that surrounds the Piri Reis map, a centuries-old document that appears to depict the world as it was long before it was supposed to be known. Discovered in 1929 in the Topkapi Palace in Istanbul, this remarkable map has continued to confound historians, geographers, and scientists. Created by the Ottoman admiral and cartographer Piri Reis in 1513, the map has long been considered one of the most significant and puzzling artifacts in the history of mapmaking. The Piri Reis map is drawn on a piece of ancient parchment, measuring about 24 inches by 16 inches. It is a beautifully detailed chart of the Atlantic Ocean and parts of the Americas, featuring both the coastlines of South America and the northern parts of Antarctica. What is most striking, however, is the highly accurate representation of the coastline of Antarctica, particularly its northernmost regions, despite the fact that Antarctica was not discovered by Europeans until much later, in the early 19th century. But even more perplexing is the fact that the map shows this section of Antarctica without the ice sheet that currently covers the continent. According to modern geology and ice core research, Antarctica has been covered by thick layers of ice for millions of years. The idea that the Piri Reis map could show the landmass in such detail, without the ice, presents a mystery that is still not fully understood. At the time the Piri Reis map was created, European explorers had only recently begun to map the Americas and the surrounding oceans. The general knowledge of the world's geography was far from complete, and the existence of Antarctica was not known to the Western world. So how could an Ottoman admiral, working in the early 16th century, have had access to maps or knowledge that depicted the frozen continent in such detail? This question has intrigued researchers and fueled various theories, some of which lean into the realm of the extraordinary. The most popular theory is that the Piri Reis map is based on older, lost maps, maps that predate even Piri Reis's time and may have been created by ancient civilizations with an advanced understanding of the world. Some suggest that these maps could have been created by ancient civilizations such as the Egyptians, the Phoenicians, or even a long-lost advanced civilization that predates recorded history. The idea is that these civilizations, now forgotten, had detailed knowledge of the world and its geography, which was passed down through the ages. According to this theory, the Piri Reis map may be a fragment of a much larger body of cartographic knowledge, representing a lost history of human exploration and discovery. The accuracy with which the map depicts the coastlines of South America, for example, is startling, considering that European exploration of the Americas did not truly begin until the early 16th century. But what about the depiction of Antarctica? The most widely accepted explanation is that the map somehow came into the possession of Piri Reis from older sources, perhaps from ancient mariners who had access to knowledge of the southernmost continent long before it was officially discovered. According to some, this knowledge could have been passed down through secret or hidden channels, preserved by select groups or societies throughout the centuries. Could it be that Piri Reis was simply the latest custodian of this ancient knowledge? It's a theory that raises as many questions as it answers. If such maps did exist, who made them? And how did they know about Antarctica's coastline thousands of years before modern exploration and scientific research uncovered it? Theories about the Piri Reis map's origins often intersect with the idea of lost civilizations, such as Atlantis or the mythical civilization of Mu. These lost worlds, often associated with ancient advanced technology and wisdom, are said to have existed long before recorded history. According to proponents of these theories, the Piri Reis map is evidence of this lost knowledge, a fragment of a much older map that shows a world known only to a civilization far more advanced than what we have been led to believe. The idea of an ancient, technologically sophisticated civilization existing long before the rise of the great empires of antiquity is an idea that continues to captivate the imagination. Could the map be a remnant of this long-lost world, a piece of cartography passed down through the ages to reach Piri Reis? On the other hand, there are those who argue that the Piri Reis map is simply a product of its time, a creation based on the knowledge and technology available to explorers in the early 16th century. According to this viewpoint, the map was based on a variety of different sources, including maps created by ancient Greek and Roman explorers, as well as more recent information obtained from maritime expeditions around the world. From this perspective, the depiction of Antarctica could be the result of ancient speculation or simply a creative interpretation of the world geography. This theory suggests that the map is less a mysterious relic from a lost civilization and more a product of the convergence of various cartographic traditions. Despite the many theories that have been proposed, the question of how the Piri Reis map came to depict Antarctica as it is remains unanswered. For some, the mystery lies not in the map's origins, but in the nature of the knowledge it represents. What if the ancient world had access to information that was lost over time, only to be rediscovered centuries later? Could the map be a key to unlocking the secrets of a much older, forgotten history? The Piri Reis map is not just a geographical artifact. It is a symbol of the search for knowledge, an invitation to explore the unknown and reconsider the history we have been taught. It raises questions about human exploration, the transmission of knowledge, and the possibility of lost civilizations that once thrived but have now been forgotten. The map is a window into a distant past, one that is shrouded in mystery but still beckons us to look deeper, to consider the possibility that history is far more complex and intricate than we have been led to believe. For those who study the Piri Reis map, it is more than just a curiosity. It is a puzzle that invites us to think beyond the confines of conventional history and geography. The map encourages us to ask questions about the world, to explore the unknown, and to wonder about the possibilities that lie hidden just beyond the reach of our current understanding. Whether it is a glimpse into a lost civilization, a remnant of ancient maritime knowledge, or a simple artifact of its time, the Piri Reis map remains an enduring mystery that continues to fascinate and challenge us. In the end, the Piri Reis map serves as a reminder that there are still many mysteries to be uncovered. It is a symbol of the vastness of human exploration, of the depths of knowledge that remain just out of our reach. As we continue to search for answers to the questions raised by the map, we are reminded that there is always more to discover, a world beyond our current understanding, waiting to be explored, waiting to be understood. The Pyrie Reis map invites us to look beyond the maps we know and explore the lost territories of our collective past, to uncover the forgotten knowledge that still lies buried in the depths of history. In the quiet corners of the world, there are sounds that slip beneath the surface of everyday life. Sounds that we cannot easily identify, yet they seem to persist, lurking just out of reach of understanding. One such sound is known as the Taos hum, a mysterious noise that has baffled residents and visitors in the small town of Taos, New Mexico, for decades. The hum is unlike anything that can be attributed to conventional sources. It is a low, persistent sound, often described as a distant, droning noise, almost like the hum of machinery or the rumble of a distant truck. Yet no obvious source of the hum has ever been identified, and it remains one of the most perplexing auditory mysteries in the world. The first documented reports of the Taos hum date back to the early 1990s, when a small number of residents in Taos began to describe hearing an incessant, low-frequency sound. At first, it was dismissed as a figment of imagination or a result of some local industrial activity. However, as more and more people came forward with similar experiences, it became clear that the hum was something more than a mere coincidence. It was a sound that seemed to be heard only by a select few. Not everyone in Taos could hear it, but for those who could, it was a source of great frustration, discomfort, and mystery. The hum would come and go, sometimes fading for days or even weeks, only to return suddenly with renewed intensity. The sound itself is difficult to describe accurately. Some say it resembles the noise produced by an idling diesel engine or the hum of high-voltage electrical lines. Others compare it to the rumble of distant thunder or the sound of a distant air conditioner. Yet despite numerous attempts to pinpoint the exact nature of the hum, its origin remains elusive. It has been heard primarily in the town of Taos and its surrounding areas, but there are also scattered reports from other parts of the world where similar low-frequency sounds have been experienced. This has led some to wonder if the Taos hum is part of a global phenomenon, one that connects distant places with a sound that is just beyond our understanding. Scientists and researchers have attempted to study the Taos hum, yet they have found little conclusive evidence that could explain its cause. Several theories have been proposed, each attempting to address the phenomenon from different angles. Some suggest that the hum is the result of industrial activity or natural occurrences, such as the movement of tectonic plates or underground water. However, no identifiable industrial or natural source of the hum has ever been found. Even the most advanced equipment used to track sound waves has failed to identify a clear, consistent origin for the noise. This inability to locate the source of the hum only adds to the mystery, and it is this very elusiveness that has fueled further speculation. One theory suggests that the hum is a psychological phenomenon, perhaps a form of auditory hallucination that affects only certain individuals. Known as the earworm effect, this theory posits that the brain might be processing a sound that doesn't actually exist, or that the hum might be a byproduct of other environmental factors, such as electromagnetic fields. Some residents of Taos have reported experiencing headaches, dizziness, and a sense of unease when the hum is present, leading some to speculate that the noise could be a manifestation of some form of mass psychological phenomenon. However, this theory is controversial, as many people who hear the hum describe it as an unmistakable external sound rather than an internal, imagined noise. Another theory points to the possibility that the Taos hum is related to certain low-frequency sounds that are too deep for the human ear to fully register, but are still detectable on some level. These sounds, known as infrasound, can be produced by natural sources such as earthquakes, volcanic activity, or even wind. Infrasound is a type of sound wave that has frequencies below the range of human hearing, typically less than 20 Hz. While we cannot hear these sounds directly, our bodies can sometimes sense them, leading to feelings of discomfort, unease, or anxiety. Some researchers have proposed that the Taos hum could be caused by a natural source of infrasound, perhaps a deep geological phenomenon that is affecting the local area. However, no conclusive evidence has been found to support this theory, and there is little to explain why the hum would affect only a select number of people. The most extraordinary theory surrounding the Taos hum involves the possibility of extraterrestrial origins. Some speculate that the hum could be the result of a transmission from an alien source, whether it is a form of communication or some other form of energy that is being emitted from a distant part of the cosmos. This theory taps into humanity's long-standing fascination with the unknown, especially when it comes to the possibility of life beyond Earth. If the hum were indeed of extraterrestrial origin, it would suggest that we are only beginning to scratch the surface of the mysteries that lie beyond our planet. Could it be that the hum is a form of communication, one that we are not yet capable of understanding? The idea of extraterrestrial signals reaching us in the form of low-frequency hums and vibrations is an alluring thought, though it remains speculative. Despite the many theories, the truth behind the Taos hum remains unresolved. For those who hear it, the hum is a persistent, unsettling presence in their lives, an invisible force that disrupts their sense of peace and normalcy. For others who are unaffected by the sound, the mystery is merely another strange anomaly in the world, an intriguing phenomenon that may never be fully explained. However, for those who do hear it, the Taos hum is a reminder that there is much about the world that we still don't understand. It is a sound that exists just at the edges of human perception, something that cannot be fully grasped but remains a constant presence, like a whisper from the unknown. One of the most curious aspects of the Taos hum is the way it seems to isolate certain individuals. It is not a sound that is universally experienced by all who live in the area. In fact, it is estimated that only about 2% of the population in Taos reports hearing the hum. Why do some people hear it and others do not? This disparity has led some to suggest that there may be specific physiological or psychological factors at play. Could it be that certain people are more sensitive to low-frequency sounds, or that they're more attuned to the subtle vibrations of the world around them? This question is one of the many that has fueled the ongoing mystery of the Taos hum, adding yet another layer of intrigue to an already baffling phenomenon. Despite the lack of a definitive explanation, the Taos hum continues to capture the imagination of those who encounter it. It is a reminder that even in our modern world, there are still things that cannot be easily explained or understood. We live in a world that is filled with mysteries, both big and small, that defy our attempts to categorize or comprehend them. The Taos hum is one such mystery, a sound that lingers in the air, just beyond our reach, a reminder of the limits of human perception and the unknown forces that shape our world. As the mystery endures, it reminds us that there is much we have yet to learn about the world around us. Some questions, it seems, may never have answers. But in the pursuit of those answers, we are reminded of the wonder and curiosity that drive us to explore the unknown. The Taos hum, like so many other mysteries of the world, is an invitation to listen more closely, to pay attention to the sounds and signals that come from the world beyond our understanding. And perhaps, one day, we will uncover the source of that hum, and in doing so, uncover something far greater than we ever imagined. Stretching across the arid plains of southern Peru, a remarkable series of vast, intricate geoglyphs has puzzled scholars and explorers for centuries. These mysterious markings, known as the Nazca Lines, cover an area of nearly 500 square kilometers and are believed to have been created by the ancient Nazca civilization between 500 BCE and 500 CE. The lines, many of which depict animals, plants, geometric shapes, and even human figures, are so large and intricate that they can only truly be appreciated from the sky, an observation that has only fueled the mystery surrounding their purpose in creation. Who were the people who made these vast designs, and why did they create them? What do these ancient drawings say about the civilization that created them? And, perhaps most perplexing of all, how did they manage to construct such elaborate figures without being able to see them in their entirety? The first known mention of the Nazca Lines came in the 16th century when Spanish explorers described them, though their true significance remained largely unknown for centuries. It wasn't until the 1930s, with the advent of commercial aviation, that scholars began to fully appreciate the magnitude of the designs. From the air, the full extent of the lines becomes visible, intricate patterns that seem to stretch endlessly across the desert floor. Some of the figures are straightforward: a spider, a monkey, a hummingbird. Others are more abstract, like long, straight lines that seem to lead nowhere, or large geometric shapes that form seemingly meaningless patterns when viewed from the ground. The sheer size and complexity of these figures is awe-inspiring, and yet their purpose remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the ancient world. The most striking thing about the Nazca lines is their size. Some of the figures stretch as far as 1,200 feet, 370 meters, long. The largest geoglyphs are so enormous that they can only be fully appreciated from the sky, a realization that has led to a multitude of theories about why they were created in the first place. How could the Nazca people, with their limited technological tools, have produced such large-scale designs? What was their intent in creating such massive works of art in a place where they could not be seen in their entirety? This question is central to the mystery of the Nazca lines, and scholars have spent years trying to unravel their meaning. One of the most widely accepted explanations is that the lines were created for religious or ritualistic purposes. The Nazca civilization is thought to have been deeply religious, and many scholars believe that the lines were intended to be offerings to the gods, possibly to ensure fertility or to invoke divine favor. Some researchers suggest that the geoglyphs were part of a complex ritual landscape, used in ceremonies intended to appease the deities of the desert, such as Pachamama, the earth goddess, or the Nazca gods associated with water and fertility. The lines themselves might have been seen as a form of communication between the earthly realm and the divine, a symbolic pathway leading from the desert to the heavens, a bridge through which the Nazca people could connect with their gods. This theory is supported by the fact that many of the lines align with significant astronomical events. Several of the larger figures, such as the monkey and the hummingbird, appear to be linked to the movement of the sun, the stars, and the planets. Some researchers argue that the Nazca people created the geoglyphs as part of an astronomical calendar, marking important celestial events like solstices and equinoxes. The Nazca lines may have served as a kind of giant astrological chart, a tool to track the movements of the stars and planets, helping the civilization predict seasonal changes and plan agricultural activities. The alignment of certain lines with the sun's path during the summer solstice is one example of how the geoglyphs may have served a practical, as well as a spiritual, function. However, the idea that the lines were purely ceremonial or astronomical does not explain the full complexity of the Nazca lines. There are, after all, so many different figures, many of which do not appear to have any obvious connection to astronomy or religion. For example, the spider, the hummingbird, and the monkey are not celestial objects but rather living creatures. These figures, along with the many geometric patterns and lines, suggest that the Nazca people may have had other motivations for creating these massive designs. Could the geoglyphs have been intended to convey stories, historical events, or important symbols for future generations? Could they have been a form of social or political propaganda, created to demonstrate the power and influence of the Nazca elites? In addition to these more speculative theories, there are those who have proposed more unconventional explanations for the Nazca lines. One of the most fascinating and controversial theories is that the lines were created with the help of extraterrestrial beings. This idea, popularized by the so-called ancient astronaut theorists, posits that the Nazca people, or perhaps other ancient civilizations, had contact with extraterrestrial visitors who helped them create the lines as a form of communication or as part of an ongoing interaction between Earth and alien civilizations. Proponents of this theory point to the complexity and scale of the designs, which they argue would have been impossible to create without advanced knowledge or technology, knowledge that the ancient Nazca people may not have had access to. The idea that the lines were created to send messages to beings from the stars is certainly intriguing, but it remains purely speculative, as there is no evidence to suggest any kind of extraterrestrial involvement. Another theory suggests that the lines were part of a larger, undiscovered network of geoglyphs that once spanned across the entire Nazca region, possibly used as a form of communication for different settlements. According to this idea, the lines might have been created as a kind of communal activity, with each region contributing its own symbols and shapes to a larger, interconnected system of communication. Over time, as the Nazca civilization declined and the lines eroded, much of this larger network was lost to history, leaving only isolated fragments of what may have been a vast, interconnected cultural and religious system. This theory offers a compelling explanation for the wide variety of figures found in the desert, suggesting that the geoglyphs were more than just random creations. They were part of a larger cultural landscape. Despite the many theories and speculations, no one really knows for sure why the Nazca lines were created or what their ultimate purpose was. The mystery surrounding the geoglyphs is not just a question of their creation, but also of their significance. What did the Nazca people see when they looked at these lines and figures? How did they interpret them, and what did they mean to them? The answers to these questions are lost to history, leaving only the faint traces of a civilization that once thrived in one of the most inhospitable regions of the world. The mystery of the Nazca lines is made all the more compelling by their location. The Nazca Desert is one of the driest places on Earth, with little rainfall and extreme temperatures. The lines have survived for centuries, preserved in the arid landscape that has kept them largely untouched. Yet despite this preservation, the geoglyphs are not eternal. They continue to erode, their lines slowly fading away, and with them, the last vestiges of the civilization that created them. Perhaps this is part of the allure of the Nazca lines, an ancient mystery that is slowly slipping away from us, leaving only traces of its existence in the desert sands. In the end, the Nazca lines are a testament to the enduring mystery of the past. They remind us that there are still many secrets to be uncovered, many stories to be told, and many questions to be answered. Whether the lines were created for religious, astronomical, political, or even extraterrestrial reasons, they remain one of the greatest mysteries of the ancient world. The Nazca lines invite us to look beyond the surface, to ponder the intentions of civilization long gone, and to wonder about the knowledge and wisdom that might have been lost along the way. As we continue to search for answers, we are reminded that some mysteries are meant to be unraveled, and others may remain forever beyond our reach. Hidden within the dusty archives of Yale University, there lies an ancient book, a book that has confounded scholars, cryptographers, and historians for centuries. The Voynich manuscript, named after the rare book dealer Wilfred Voynich, who acquired it in 1912, remains one of the most baffling and elusive texts in history. The manuscript, which dates back to the early 15th century, is written in an unknown script and contains numerous illustrations of bizarre plants, astronomical symbols, and strange, often unsettling, figures. Despite numerous attempts by some of the world's brightest minds, the manuscript's language has never been deciphered, and its true purpose remains a mystery. Who wrote it? What does it say? And perhaps most puzzling of all, what is its purpose? These questions have haunted scholars and amateur sleuths alike, driving them to search for clues, to decode its meaning, or to prove that the manuscript is simply an elaborate hoax. The history of the Voynich manuscript is as mysterious as the text itself. It is believed to have been created sometime between 1404 and 1438, based on carbon dating of the manuscript's vellum, the material on which it was written. The manuscript is comprised of around 240 pages, with most of them filled with strange drawings and detailed illustrations, many of which seem to defy explanation. There are depictions of plants that do not match any known species, celestial diagrams that seem to depict unknown constellations, and human figures engaged in unusual activities, such as bathing in large cauldrons or seemingly interacting with strange, otherworldly symbols. While the illustrations are captivating and richly detailed, it is the strange script that has captured the imagination of those who have attempted to unlock its secrets. The text of the Voynich manuscript is written in an alphabet that does not resemble any known language or writing system. The characters used in the manuscript appear to be unique to the document, and the structure of the script shows no obvious similarities to other languages, either contemporary or ancient. Numerous attempts have been made to decode the text, ranging from the use of traditional linguistic analysis to the application of advanced cryptographic methods, but none have been successful. The manuscript has become infamous for its resistance to any kind of translation, and some experts believe that it is simply an elaborate cipher, a kind of puzzle deliberately designed to resist decoding. But why would anyone go to such lengths to create a manuscript that no one could read? And what was the purpose of writing such an incomprehensible text in the first place? Over the years, countless theories have emerged about the nature of the Voynich manuscript and the identity of its author. Some believe that the manuscript was created by an early alchemist or wizard, perhaps to record secret knowledge or arcane rituals. The manuscript's unusual illustrations, many of which depict strange symbols and mystical imagery, have led some to speculate that it is a medieval book of magic or an alchemical guide, filled with esoteric knowledge hidden from the public. According to this theory, the manuscript may have been intended as a private or sacred text, designed to convey secret wisdom to an inner circle of followers. Others have suggested that the manuscript is a work of natural science, possibly a herbal or medical text. The illustrations of plants, some of which appear to be entirely fictional, might be meant to represent medicinal plants or herbs that were used in ancient remedies. The strange bathing scenes, too, could be related to therapeutic rituals or healing practices. However, this theory is complicated by the fact that many of the plants depicted in the manuscript do not appear to correspond to any known species, making it difficult to determine whether the author was attempting to document real plants or whether they were purely fictional creations. Another theory proposes that the manuscript is a work of fiction, a kind of elaborate hoax created for amusement or profit. This theory gained traction in the early 20th century, when it was suggested that the manuscript had been intentionally constructed to look like an ancient and cryptic text, but was in fact a modern invention. Some have even speculated that Wilfrid Voynich himself might have forged the manuscript, though there is little evidence to support this claim. Others argue that the manuscript was created as a form of entertainment for a wealthy patron, perhaps a noble or scholar, who sought to possess a mysterious and incomprehensible book to impress their peers. This would explain the manuscript's strange script and its lack of a coherent meaning, if it was never meant to be understood, but simply to look like an ancient cryptic text. Despite these many theories, the true purpose and meaning of the Voynich manuscript remain elusive. One of the most tantalizing possibilities is that the manuscript holds a key to hidden knowledge, perhaps the lost wisdom of an ancient civilization or a secret code that has been carefully concealed for centuries. Some have even proposed that the manuscript is a guide to an ancient treasure or a cryptic map that points to something hidden beneath the earth. In this theory, the strange plants and symbols are not random, but are part of a complex code designed to reveal a secret when decoded. If this is true, then the manuscript would represent one of the most extraordinary treasure maps in history, a puzzle that has remained unsolved for more than 500 years. Another possibility is that the manuscript is a religious or philosophical text, perhaps written by a secretive group of scholars or mystics. The strange imagery and symbolism found in the manuscript could be a form of visual language, meant to communicate esoteric concepts that were not intended for public consumption. In this view, the manuscript could represent a form of private knowledge, passed down through generations in a hidden code to preserve certain teachings or beliefs from the eyes of the uninitiated. The author of the manuscript may have been part of an intellectual or spiritual tradition that valued secrecy, and the manuscript could have been created as a way to protect their ideas from outsiders. While these theories provide some intriguing possibilities, there is still no definitive answer to the mystery of the Voynich manuscript. Its meaning, its origin, and its purpose remain as elusive as ever. Even with the advent of modern technology, such as artificial intelligence and computational linguistics, no one has been able to unlock the code or decipher its contents. In recent years, researchers have used computer algorithms to analyze the structure of the manuscript's text, looking for patterns or statistical anomalies that might provide clues. Some have suggested that the manuscript's language could be a type of constructed language, one that was created specifically for the manuscript and that bears no relationship to any known language. Others have argued that the text is a form of encryption, a cipher that was designed to protect the manuscript's contents from being read by unauthorized individuals. Despite these advances, the Voynich manuscript remains one of the greatest unsolved puzzles in the world. Its strange symbols, its cryptic script, and its enigmatic illustrations continue to captivate the imagination of those who encounter it. For some, the manuscript is a symbol of the limits of human knowledge, a reminder that there are still mysteries that defy our best efforts to understand them. For others, it is a tantalizing invitation to explore the unknown, to search for hidden meaning, and to unlock the secrets that have remained hidden for centuries. Whether the manuscript is a work of cryptic genius or a curious hoax, its mystery endures, and with it, the enduring question: what secrets does the Voynich manuscript hold? And why has it remained so stubbornly out of reach? On the vast, seemingly endless expanse of the Atlantic Ocean, there lies a region of water infamous for its mysterious and unsettling reputation. The Bermuda Triangle, an area roughly bounded by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, has been a subject of both fascination and fear for centuries. It is a place where the laws of nature appear to bend, where vessels vanish without a trace and planes disappear from radar, leaving behind only questions and theories. Despite the various scientific explanations proposed over the years, the Bermuda Triangle continues to captivate the imagination, as the mystery of what happens within its waters remains unresolved. It is a region where fact and speculation blend, where history and legend intertwine, creating a captivating narrative that draws in all who are curious enough to explore its depths. The Bermuda Triangle is not a formally defined region in the world, but its name has become synonymous with one of the most persistent and perplexing phenomena in the history of modern exploration. The area covers approximately 500,000 square miles of ocean, but its boundaries are not exact. The first references to unusual occurrences in this region appeared in the late 19th century, but it was not until the 20th century that the Bermuda Triangle truly captured public attention. The term Bermuda Triangle itself was coined by writer Vincent Gaddis in 1964 in his book Invisible Horizons: True Mysteries of the Sea. Since then, stories of lost ships and vanished planes have become part of the lore surrounding the area, fueling a growing sense of mystery and intrigue. One of the most famous incidents that has contributed to the Bermuda Triangle's reputation occurred in December 1945 when 5 U.S. Navy bombers, known as Flight 19, disappeared while on a training mission over the area. The aircraft were on a routine navigation exercise, but something went terribly wrong. The pilots reported disorientation and confusion, with several of them saying they could not determine their position or find their way back to base. Communication with the planes was lost, and despite a massive search operation involving other planes and ships, neither the bombers nor their 14 crew members were ever found. This disappearance remains one of the most widely discussed and mysterious events associated with the Bermuda Triangle, and it set the stage for the growing legend of the area. But Flight 19 is far from the only instance of unexplained disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle. Over the years, hundreds of ships and planes are said to have vanished within its confines, many under circumstances that defy explanation. Some of the stories are well documented, while others are more ambiguous or based on folklore. In addition to military aircraft, civilian vessels and commercial planes have reportedly vanished without a trace, often leaving no sign of wreckage behind. Some survivors, who later reported being lost or stranded in the region, tell of strange phenomena: compasses malfunctioning, equipment shutting down unexpectedly, and eerie, shifting weather patterns that seem to defy normal patterns of nature. One particularly chilling incident occurred in 1918 when the USS Cyclops, a U.S. Navy cargo ship carrying over 300 crew members, disappeared without a trace while traveling from Barbados to Baltimore. No distress signal was ever sent, and despite an extensive search, no wreckage or bodies were ever found. The disappearance of the Cyclops remains one of the largest non-combat losses of life in U.S. Navy history, and its eerie vanishing has only added to the mystique of the Bermuda Triangle. Like Flight 19, the disappearance of the Cyclops is often cited as an example of the inexplicable and the uncanny that seems to occur with disturbing frequency within this region. Despite the abundance of such stories, there are skeptics who insist that the Bermuda Triangle's reputation as a place of mystery and danger is overblown. Many of the purported disappearances, they argue, can be explained by natural causes or human error. For example, some experts suggest that the region's unpredictable weather patterns, particularly the sudden appearance of violent storms or waterspouts, may account for the disappearance of ships and planes. The Gulf Stream, a powerful current that moves through the region, could also contribute to wreckage being carried away and lost, making it difficult for search teams to find debris or bodies. Another possible explanation comes from the field of oceanography. The Bermuda Triangle lies above the tongue of a large underwater mountain range known as the Puerto Rico Trench, which drops to depths of over 27,000 feet in some places. This region is prone to powerful underwater currents, shifting tides, and sudden changes in water pressure that could cause ships or aircraft to be lost without a trace. Some have also proposed that methane hydrate deposits on the ocean floor could be to blame. Methane gas, when released suddenly, can cause the water's density to decrease, creating what is known as rogue waves, massive, unpredictable waves that could easily capsize a vessel. In this view, the Bermuda Triangle is simply an area where unusual but natural phenomena come together in a way that makes it more dangerous than other parts of the ocean. Yet, despite the presence of these natural explanations, there remain many elements of the Bermuda Triangle mystery that seem to defy easy explanation. One particularly baffling aspect is the fact that many of the disappearances occur without any distress signals or indications of trouble. Pilots and sailors, who are usually in constant communication with air traffic control or nearby vessels, sometimes fail to send a distress call before they vanish. This has led some to speculate that there may be some unknown force at work in the region, something that disrupts communication or causes sudden, unexplained malfunctions in aircraft and ships. Some have even suggested that the Bermuda Triangle might be a site of electromagnetic anomalies or disturbances that interfere with navigational equipment, causing pilots and sailors to become disoriented and lost. The possibility of human error, while plausible, also does little to diminish the sense of mystery surrounding the area. After all, the Bermuda Triangle is one of the busiest shipping and air travel routes in the world, and with such heavy traffic, one would expect more accidents elsewhere. Yet it seems as though the Bermuda Triangle produces an inordinate number of unexplained disappearances, leading some to believe that there may be something more to the phenomenon than simple human mistakes. Beyond the natural explanations, there are other theories that venture into the realm of the extraordinary. Some have suggested that the Bermuda Triangle could be the site of ancient, submerged ruins, perhaps the remnants of a lost city of Atlantis. According to this theory, the mysterious disappearances could be linked to an ancient power, possibly the remnants of advanced technology or energy sources that are still active beneath the ocean. Proponents of this theory point to the strange, often unexplainable phenomena that occur in the region. Compasses spinning wildly, electronic equipment malfunctioning, and unusual cloud formations, as evidence of some lingering, hidden force beneath the waves. Other theories suggest that the Bermuda Triangle may be a place where time or space is distorted. Some accounts of disappearances suggest that objects and vessels have seemingly vanished into thin air, only to reappear days later, in locations far from where they were last seen. This has led to speculation that the Bermuda Triangle could be some sort of portal or gateway, a place where the boundaries of time and space are altered, allowing for the occasional disappearance and reappearance of ships and planes. In the end, the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle persists because it resists a single, simple explanation. While natural phenomena can certainly account for many of the disappearances, there are still aspects of the Bermuda Triangle that defy conventional understanding. Whether the truth lies in the realm of science, the supernatural, or somewhere in between, the Bermuda Triangle remains one of the most captivating and enduring mysteries of our time. For those who are drawn to it, the Bermuda Triangle will always represent the boundary between the known and the unknown, a place where the sea and sky seem to hold their secrets just out of reach. Deep beneath the surface of the ocean, or so the story goes, lies the legendary city of Atlantis, a place of unimaginable wealth and advanced knowledge, whose rise and fall have captured the imaginations of countless generations. For thousands of years, the tale of Atlantis has been passed down through myth and speculation, growing ever more intriguing and mysterious. Was there once a great civilization whose incredible achievements were lost to the sea? Or is Atlantis simply the product of myth, a metaphor for human hubris and the fallibility of even the most powerful civilizations? The mystery of Atlantis has endured for centuries, and though no definitive proof of its existence has ever been found, the question of whether Atlantis was real continues to fascinate and intrigue. The first mention of Atlantis appears in the works of the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. In his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, written around 360 BCE, Plato tells the story of a powerful and highly advanced civilization that once existed beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which we know today as the Strait of Gibraltar. According to Plato, Atlantis was a large island, larger than Libya and Asia Minor combined, and it was home to a society that was technologically sophisticated, wealthy, and powerful. The Atlanteans, as Plato describes them, were originally a virtuous and noble people, ruled by kings who were descended from the gods. However, over time, they became corrupt, greedy, and arrogant. Eventually, the gods decided to punish the Atlanteans for their transgressions, and in a single day and night of catastrophic earthquakes and floods, the entire island was submerged beneath the ocean, lost forever. Plato's account of Atlantis has long been the cornerstone of the legend, and many believe that his description was based on a real place, possibly a reflection of a once great civilization that was destroyed by a natural disaster. The specificity of the story, such as the detailed description of the island's geography and the advanced technology of its people, has led many to wonder whether Atlantis was more than just a work of fiction. Some argue that Plato's tale may have been inspired by actual events, such as the destruction of the Minoan civilization on the island of Crete, which was devastated by a volcanic eruption around 1450 BCE. The eruption of the Thera volcano, which created a massive tsunami and resulted in the collapse of Minoan society, bears striking similarities to Plato's description of the downfall of Atlantis, and some scholars have suggested that Plato may have been drawing on this event in his story. However, there is little evidence to support the idea that Plato's Atlantis was a real place. While the story of the lost city has been passed down through the ages, no archaeological evidence has ever been found to confirm the existence of such an advanced civilization in the location that Plato describes. Ancient maps and records make no mention of an island as large as Atlantis, and the island's supposed location in the Atlantic Ocean has never been definitively identified. Some believe that Plato's account was a work of pure fiction, a philosophical allegory meant to illustrate the dangers of pride and moral decay. In this view, Atlantis serves as a cautionary tale rather than a historical record. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the idea of Atlantis has endured, and the search for the lost city has captivated explorers, scientists, and treasure hunters for centuries. Over the years, many theories have emerged regarding the possible location of Atlantis, with proponents of each theory claiming to have discovered the true site of the fabled city. Some believe that Atlantis was located in the Mediterranean Sea, possibly on the island of Santorini or near the Greek islands. Others have suggested that the city was located in the Caribbean, off the coast of Cuba, or in the waters surrounding the Azores. In more recent years, some have proposed that Atlantis might be located beneath Antarctica, hidden beneath layers of ice and snow, waiting to be uncovered by future explorers. One of the most popular theories about the location of Atlantis posits that the lost city was situated on the island of Crete, home to the Minoan civilization. The Minoans were one of the most advanced civilizations of the ancient world, known for their impressive architecture, art, and trade networks. Their downfall, which coincides with the eruption of Thera, has led some to believe that the destruction of the Minoans might have inspired the story of Atlantis. However, while the similarities between Plato's description and the Minoan culture are intriguing, there is no definitive evidence to suggest that the Minoans were connected to the myth of Atlantis. The idea that Atlantis was located in the Mediterranean is a theory that has been popular for centuries, but remains speculative, as there is no conclusive proof linking the two. Another theory suggests that Atlantis may have existed in the Caribbean, where the waters are home to mysterious underwater structures and ancient ruins. In the 1960s, explorers discovered strange formations in the waters off the coast of Bimini, an island in the Bahamas. These so-called Bimini Road structures, which appear to be man-made, have sparked theories that they could be the remnants of Atlantis. Some have even suggested that the island of Bimini itself might be the site of the lost city, pointing to its location within the Atlantic Ocean and its proximity to the Caribbean as evidence. However, many geologists believe that the Bimini Road is a natural formation, and there is no concrete evidence linking it to Atlantis. Perhaps the most unusual theory about the location of Atlantis is the idea that the lost city is buried beneath the ice sheets of Antarctica. In recent years, some researchers have speculated that the continent was once temperate and home to a thriving civilization, but that it was later covered by ice during a dramatic shift in the Earth's climate. This theory is based on the notion that the Earth's climate has changed significantly over the millennia, with regions that were once habitable now buried beneath layers of ice. Proponents of this theory suggest that Atlantis might have been located in what is now Antarctica, and that the ancient city was lost due to a sudden and catastrophic climate event. While this idea is intriguing, there is no scientific evidence to support it, and Antarctica's icy landscape presents significant challenges for exploration. Despite the many theories and attempts to locate Atlantis, there is still no consensus on where the city might have been. For many, the lack of evidence only adds to the allure of the mystery. Atlantis continues to capture the imagination because it represents the idea of a lost golden age, a civilization that was destroyed by forces beyond its control. Whether Atlantis was a real place or a mere fable, its story reflects a deep-seated human desire to explore the unknown, to find hidden knowledge, and to understand the rise and fall of civilizations. In many ways, the story of Atlantis has become more than just a historical mystery. It has become a symbol of human ambition and fragility. The idea of a city so advanced and so powerful, only to be lost in the blink of an eye, speaks to the vulnerability of even the greatest of civilizations. It is a reminder that history is fragile, that all empires, no matter how mighty, eventually fall. Whether Atlantis was a real place or simply a myth, its story endures because it speaks to something fundamental in the human psyche. The desire to reach beyond what is known, to explore the depths of the world and our own understanding, and to face the inevitable consequences of our actions. The search for Atlantis, whether literal or metaphorical, continues. Perhaps the true mystery of Atlantis is not whether it existed, but why it continues to captivate us. As we search for the lost city in the depths of the ocean, we may also be searching for something deeper within ourselves. The desire for discovery, the quest for knowledge, and the eternal fascination with the mysteries of the past. In the quiet, desert town of Taos, New Mexico, a curious phenomenon has been perplexing residents and scientists alike for decades. A strange, low-frequency hum, often described as a distant engine or industrial noise, can be heard by a select group of people. This sound, known as the Taos hum, has been reported by individuals across the town, as well as in other parts of the world, yet it remains an elusive mystery, with no clear explanation for its source or cause. Despite numerous investigations, the Taos hum continues to confound experts and ignite debates, raising questions about the nature of sound, perception, and the limits of scientific understanding. The Taos hum first came to public attention in the early 1990s when a local resident, along with several others, reported hearing a strange noise that could not be explained by ordinary environmental sounds. It was not the sound of wind, traffic, or machinery, but rather an incessant and low-frequency hum, often described as similar to the sound of a diesel engine idling in the distance. For those who could hear it, the hum was an intrusive and persistent presence, often affecting sleep patterns and causing stress or anxiety. While some dismissed the reports as the result of overactive imaginations, others took the phenomenon seriously, and soon, more and more individuals in Taos, and later other locations, began to report similar experiences. The hum was not a sound that could be heard by everyone. In fact, only about 2% of the population in areas where the hum was reported claimed to be able to hear it. This selective nature of the phenomenon only added to its mystique. Why were only certain people able to perceive the hum? Was it a result of some kind of auditory sensitivity or a unique psychological condition? Or was there something more mysterious at play? The fact that the hum seemed to be localized in specific geographic areas made the mystery even more intriguing. While Taos was the epicenter of the reports, the hum has also been documented in other locations, including the United Kingdom, Canada, and parts of the United States. In some cases, it was even heard in remote rural areas, far from industrial centers or sources of mechanical noise. Efforts to investigate the Taos hum have been ongoing for decades, with scientists, engineers, and researchers attempting to identify the source of the sound. In 1993, a team from the University of New Mexico conducted an investigation into the phenomenon, measuring ambient noise levels and trying to pinpoint the source of the hum. They found that the sound was not detectable by conventional instruments, suggesting that it was either too low in frequency to be captured by standard equipment, or that it was somehow being emitted in a way that made it difficult to locate. The researchers also found that the hum appeared to be coming from multiple directions, further complicating the search for its origin. One possible explanation for the Taos hum that has been suggested is that it is a form of low-frequency noise, which is often imperceptible to the majority of people but can be heard by those with heightened sensitivity to sound. Low-frequency sounds, such as the hum, are typically below the threshold of human hearing, less than 20 Hz, but they can still be perceived as a vibration or pressure. Some people, particularly those with sensitive hearing, may be more attuned to these low-frequency waves and are thus able to hear the hum. This theory suggests that the hum may not be a physical phenomenon at all, but rather a unique auditory experience, perhaps linked to a specific range of human perception. Another theory that has been proposed is that the hum could be a form of tinnitus, a condition characterized by the perception of ringing, buzzing, or humming sounds in the ears. Tinnitus is a well-known affliction, affecting millions of people worldwide, and it can manifest as a variety of different sounds, including low-frequency hums. However, the fact that the Taos hum is localized to specific regions and heard by multiple individuals simultaneously seems to rule out tinnitus as the sole explanation. Tinnitus is typically an individual experience, not something that can be shared by groups of people in a particular geographic area. One of the more intriguing theories is that the hum is the result of some kind of electromagnetic or geophysical anomaly. Some researchers have speculated that the sound could be caused by underground movements of the Earth's crust, such as seismic activity or tectonic shifts, which might generate low-frequency vibrations that are not detected by conventional equipment but are audible to certain individuals. Other possibilities include electromagnetic interference from power lines, radio transmissions, or other sources of energy that could be producing the hum. The region around Taos is known to have significant geological activity, and some have suggested that the hum could be linked to these natural phenomena. There is also the possibility that the Taos hum could be caused by industrial or technological sources, such as military testing, secretive government experiments, or other human-made activities. In the early 1990s, There were rumors that the hum might be related to the development of advanced military technologies, such as radar or other experimental devices. The fact that the hum was concentrated in areas with a significant military presence, such as near military bases or research facilities, led some to speculate that it could be the byproduct of covert operations. However, despite these theories, no conclusive evidence has ever linked the hum to any specific technological or military source. The idea that the hum could be the result of human activity has been further complicated by reports from people who claim to have heard the sound in areas far removed from any known industrial or military sites. Some individuals have reported hearing the hum in remote locations, such as forests, deserts, or small rural towns, where the presence of technology or infrastructure would be minimal. This has led to suggestions that the hum might be caused by unknown or unidentified sources, possibly beyond the current understanding of science. Despite decades of investigation, no single theory has been able to explain the Taos hum with certainty. Some have even suggested that the phenomenon could be linked to paranormal or supernatural causes, although such explanations are generally not taken seriously by mainstream scientists. Some have speculated that the hum might be related to energy fields or cosmic phenomena, or that it could be a manifestation of a more elusive and intangible force. However, these ideas remain speculative and unsubstantiated by concrete evidence. What remains most perplexing about the Taos hum is its persistence and the enduring nature of the mystery. The hum has been reported continuously for decades, and while many individuals who hear it describe it as an irritating or unsettling sound, it has never been fully understood or explained. The fact that only a small percentage of the population can hear it raises further questions about the nature of human perception and the ways in which individuals experience and interpret sound. Could it be that the hum is a unique phenomenon that is linked to a specific type of auditory sensitivity, a particular frequency range that only certain people can detect? Or is it possible that the hum is a symptom of something larger, a sign of a hidden force or mystery that science has yet to uncover? The Taos hum serves as a reminder that there are still many unexplained phenomena in the world, and that science, for all its advances, does not have all the answers. The mystery of the hum continues to intrigue those who hear it, as well as those who seek to understand it. And though many have tried, no one has yet uncovered the true source of the sound, leaving the mystery unresolved and inviting further exploration into the boundaries of human perception and the unknown. The night was bitterly cold on the slopes of the Ural Mountains in 1959, and 9 hikers set out on what should have been a routine expedition. But what happened to them in the snow-covered wilderness of Russia remains one of the most unsettling and perplexing mysteries in modern history. The Dyatlov Pass incident, named after Igor Dyatlov, the leader of the expedition, is a case that has fascinated both amateur sleuths and seasoned investigators for decades. Despite a wealth of evidence, many aspects of the hikers' deaths remain inexplicable, leading to countless theories, ranging from natural disasters to paranormal phenomena and even secret government experiments. But what really happened that night, on that lonely mountain pass, has yet to be fully explained. On the night of February 1st, 1959, a group of experienced hikers set up camp on the slopes of Otorten Mountain in the northern Urals, a remote region of Soviet Russia. The group, led by Dyatlov, was on a skiing expedition that had been carefully planned. They were all seasoned hikers and adventurers, and their route was chosen because it was known to be difficult but not particularly dangerous. The hikers, 8 men and 1 woman, ranging in age from 20 to 38, had been traveling for days and were just a few kilometers from their destination. They set up camp in a location that, according to some accounts, was poorly chosen because it was situated on a slope. It would become their final resting place. What happened next remains unclear. The following morning, when the group failed to return from their expedition, a search party was sent out. The hikers' abandoned tent was found a few days later, eerily cut open from the inside, as if the hikers had fled in a hurry. There was no sign of the hikers themselves, and it appeared as though they had left in a panic, their belongings and gear left behind. The tent had been slashed open from the inside, and in the snow, there were strange and disturbing footprints, footprints that suggested the hikers had fled without stopping to retrieve their clothing, leaving behind only their bare feet in the freezing cold. As the search continued, the bodies of the hikers were discovered one by one, scattered at varying distances from the camp. What was truly disturbing about their discovery was the condition of the bodies. Several of the hikers had injuries that could not be easily explained, including broken bones, internal injuries, and severe head trauma. Some of the bodies were found without their eyes or tongues, and one hiker's body appeared to have been mutilated in a way that was eerily suggestive of an attack. Yet, despite the gruesome nature of their injuries, there was no sign of external wounds, no indication that they had been assaulted or attacked by another person. The area showed no signs of struggle or conflict. What could have caused such severe injuries, without any trace of a violent confrontation? What force could have driven these experienced hikers to abandon their camp and flee into the night, half-dressed and barefoot, in freezing temperatures? The initial investigation by Soviet authorities concluded that the hikers had died from a combination of hypothermia and the physical trauma caused by a fall or accident. But this explanation did little to satisfy the growing number of people who began to scrutinize the case. Something was clearly amiss, something that could not be explained by simple accidents or misfortune. Over the years, numerous theories have emerged to explain the Dyatlov Pass incident, and each one seems to add a layer of mystery to an already baffling case. One of the first theories to gain traction was that the hikers had been caught in an avalanche. Avalanches are a common hazard in mountain regions, and the fact that the tent had been slashed open from the inside could suggest that the hikers were trying to escape in a hurry, fearing that they would be buried by snow. However, when experts examined the scene, no signs of an avalanche were found. The snow around the tent appeared undisturbed, and there was no evidence of a large-scale snowslide. The idea that an avalanche could have been the cause of the hikers' deaths was ultimately dismissed as unlikely. Another theory proposed by some experts was that the hikers had been victims of a military test or secret experiment. The Soviet Union was known for conducting covert operations, particularly in the remote areas of the Ural Mountains, and some suggested that the hikers may have accidentally stumbled upon a military testing ground. This theory was supported by the fact that the injuries to the hikers' bodies were consistent with the effects of a blast or shockwave, though there was no direct evidence of such an explosion. The idea that the hikers had been the unintended victims of a military test, perhaps involving explosives or some kind of weapon, added to the suspicion that the Soviet authorities were not being entirely forthcoming with the details of the case. Yet, no official documents have ever surfaced to support this theory, and the Soviet government's role in the deaths remains an open question. More outlandish theories have also been proposed, ranging from the possibility of a Yeti attack to suggestions that the hikers were the victims of a UFO encounter. Some have argued that the hikers' bizarre injuries and the strange circumstances of their deaths could be the result of an encounter with a creature, either human or otherwise, that attacked them. Others have pointed to reports of strange lights in the sky that were said to have been seen in the area around the time of the incident, suggesting that the hikers might have encountered something extraterrestrial. These theories, though intriguing, remain speculative at best and lack concrete evidence to support them. One of the more plausible explanations is that the hikers were suffering from a phenomenon known as paradoxical undressing. In extreme cold, the human body can sometimes react in a counterintuitive way to hypothermia. As the body begins to shut down, it can send signals to the brain that cause the person to feel warm, leading them to remove their clothing despite the freezing temperatures. This could explain why the hikers were found half-dressed, without their shoes or coats. However, this theory does not fully account for the gruesome injuries suffered by some of the hikers, including the severe head trauma and the removal of eyes and tongues. Another theory suggests that the hikers were the victims of a psychological breakdown. The idea is that the group may have experienced some kind of mass panic or collective delusion, perhaps caused by stress, fear, or exhaustion. The strange behavior exhibited by the hikers, slashing open their tent from the inside, abandoning their camp without proper clothing, and fleeing into the wilderness, could be seen as the result of a breakdown in rational thinking. However, this theory does not explain the severe injuries that were sustained or the fact that the hikers were all experienced outdoorsmen who would have known how to survive in the harsh conditions. As time passed, the mystery of the Dyatlov Pass incident only deepened, with new theories and hypotheses continuing to emerge. In 2019, the Russian authorities reopened the case, with investigators offering a new explanation for the deaths, one that focused on an avalanche, but of a much smaller scale than previously thought. According to this theory, the hikers may have been caught in a slab avalanche, in which a small layer of snow collapses, rather than a large-scale avalanche that would bury the entire camp. However, this theory has been met with skepticism by some experts, who point out that the lack of avalanche debris around the tent makes it an unlikely cause. Despite the various investigations and theories, the truth of what happened on that fateful night in 1959 remains a mystery. The Dyatlov Pass incident has become one of the most enduring and haunting mysteries of the 20th century, a case that raises unsettling questions about the fragility of life and the dangers of the unknown. Whether the hikers met their end due to a tragic accident, a military experiment gone wrong, or something far stranger, their deaths remain shrouded in darkness, forever marking the Ural Mountains as a place where mystery, danger, and the unexplained converge.